this morning is speaking from the basic manual and giving her second speech. Her personal objective is not to focus on memorizing her speech, but instead to follow an outline and speak about something she's passionate about. The title of her speech is The Endurance. Please help me welcome Lisa Franklin.
Imagine, it's 1914, you're in London, you're reading a newspaper, and you read the following ad. Men wanted for hazardous journey. Small wages, bitter cold, long months of complete darkness, constant danger, safe return doubtful. Honor and recognition in case of success. Sir Ernest Shackleton. Now, what kind of person is going to answer an ad like that? And you know, my husband of 20 years, is Dan Zimet, is exactly the kind of man who would have answered that ad, because he shares some of the same qualities of the Antarctic explorer Ernest Shackleton. Courage, even when the struggle looks like it's going to be impossible. Optimism, the ability to inspire faith in others that there's going to be a positive outcome. And endurance, to just keep on going no matter what. So first, Shackleton. In 1914, Shackleton wants to accomplish something that has not been done before. He wants to cross the continent of Antarctica from the east coast to the west coast, the west coast to the east coast, on foot, crossing the South Pole. This is a journey of 1,800 miles. Now, Shackleton estimates this is going to take about 5 months. So his plan is he's going to take a ship with 28 men called the Endurance, and he's going to sail up to the westernmost side of Antarctica, trek across, and then get picked up on the other side. Well, unfortunately, this crossing never happens, because as Shackleton and his men are on the Endurance traveling up there, they get stuck in the pack ice. And so they are stuck in this pack ice for 18 months. The Endurance crushes and is sunk. And Shackleton is an amazing leader, because he realizes that one of the worst things that you can do that for the men at this point, for their morale, is boredom. And so he keeps them busy constantly with work details. And they call him boss, and they follow all of his orders, and he has an incredible loyalty to his men, and they for him. So 18 months on this ice floe, and then finally one night, April 1915, this ice floe starts to crack apart and melt. Shackleton gets his men, puts them on 3 lifeboats and that have been left over from the Endurance, and he's been seeing this little black speck in the distance in the horizon every now and again, and thinks maybe he can get his men to this speck. So he gets the men on the lifeboats, and they start to travel, and the conditions are horrendous. It's 65-foot waves, it's below zero, the men's hands are frozen to the oars as they're rowing. Shackleton stays awake for 80 hours and rows for this tiny speck, and it takes 7 days, but he makes it there, and he makes it to Elephant Island, and he lands the men there, but then he looks around and realizes we are still in the middle of nowhere, with no help and rescue. And so he decides he's got to come up with a different plan. So he decides that he's got to go to South Georgia, where there could be a whaling station there, in order to have someone rescue the men. So his plan is he decides to get one boat, he selects 5 men, and he leaves 22 men on Elephant Island, and he starts out for West Georgia, South Georgia, which is 800 miles. And so he sets off with this one boat, his 5 men, and he goes, and it's the same horrendous conditions. This time it takes 3 weeks to make it there, and he makes it there. And then he lands and, realizes he's on the uninhabited side of Georgia, and so he's going to have to cross a glacier, climb a 1,000-foot mountain to get to the other side, where there may or may not be a whaling station. He does it. It takes him 3 days to get to the other side, and then it takes 4 months, 4 different ships, to be able to go back to try to rescue these men on Elephant Island, because the 4 ships keep getting stuck in the pack ice. Now let's rewind for a moment here. This is an expedition that's supposed to take 5 months. It's now almost been 2 years. There are 22 men stuck on Elephant Island for 5 months. Now the men have been there, and they have never given up hope. Every day they believe that Shackleton will come rescue them, that the boss will come back. Every day they're out on the horizon, searching the horizon for Shackleton's ship. Sure enough, and they've been doing these duties that he's given them to do over and over every day. Sure enough, they look out one day and Shackleton comes back, rescues the men, all 28 of them completely safe and unharmed. It's an amazing story. So fast forward 1999, San Francisco. I have to recruit a man to come with me to my company's Christmas party. I select a man over 30 days, Dan Zimet. So he and I and two friends of ours are heading toward downtown Marriott Hotel, and he has to circumnavigate around the hotel to get there. And we ends up, because we can't find a place, we finally dock. We realize we are a quarter of a mile away from the hotel, and we have to trek the rest of the way. And Sue and I are in these little tiny outfits and these little spindly little heels, and Zimet, nonplussed, grabs us, navigates us directly to the hotel, and we get off, take the elevator, get to the top, we're walking in, we're stopped. Bouncer won't let us in because Sue doesn't have her ID. We're stuck, and there's no going back now. And Zimet takes command and says, Lisa, you and Mike go in, and I'll take Sue, and I'll meet you in a few minutes. Now, I'm skeptical, but I have faith, and I follow orders, and I go in, and I wait at the bar, and I wait a few minutes. I remember Zimet's told me to keep busy, so I'm scribbling on cocktail napkins, and I'm searching the horizon, looking for signs of Sue and Zimet. And finally, 5 minutes pass, and through the dense pack ice of the sculptured swan in the middle of the bar, I spot him. And I say, my God, man, how did you do it? And he says, I took Sue up through the service elevator. I snuck her up through the back, and we came in where the wait staff comes in. Well, I instantly fall in love. And for 20 years, time and time again, he has given me faith that if you just keep going after your goals and just keep going through incredibly hazardous conditions, and we have 3 children, 2 of them twins, that you can make it through. And Shackleton is quoted as saying that optimism is moral courage, and he named his ship the Endurance. And it is truly these qualities of Shackleton and Zimet that make me feel incredibly grateful that I recruited the right man for the job to go on the expedition that is my life.